What's going on, boys? Welcome back to the channel. Good to have you guys back. In this video, we are starting a new series for Marathon where I'm going to be going through my PvP scenarios in every character and on every map. We're going to start with Assassin for this series, though, because I kind of want to get him out of the way. I'm not a big Assassin player, and obviously with solos, he is quite popular, so I do want to mix it up a little when it comes to the matches and the fights, so I am going to get rid of Assassin nice and early. We're going to jump into Perimeter, show you a few games and a few scenarios. Obviously, the lobbies are probably going to be a little quiet, you know, with the queue times, but we're going to make it work and jump straight into these games. So I hope you enjoy, and let's get into it. Okay, and we're in. We have a tunnel spawn, so let's get straight to it. Go look for some people and get into some PvP fights, and I'll try and cover, you know, my mindset and why I'm doing what I'm doing during the whole thing. Obviously, your games are going to be a bit different. You're not going to be actively looking for players. Well, most of you aren't going to be actively looking for players, but, you know, in order to kind of get my point across, I do need to get into a few fights. I'm not the kind of person, you know, to make a load of graphics and do a bunch of aerial shots and then put a list on the screen of what you should do, you know, don't get shot and stuff like that. But I'd rather just, you know, show and tell, as they say. So we're going to look for people. Straight away, I'm going to go to Overflow. Overflow is usually a good shout for people on solos. So I'm just listening for audio. I hear nothing right now. Very long wait time in the queue. Solos is like that, though. I might go quiet and locked in while I'm fighting, but I will try and talk when I can. And then there's always after the fight to get a full rundown. Solos on Perimeter is not the best way to show you guys how to handle PvP, but you guys will be playing Perimeter. I hear somebody at Holler. But with the queue times and the map itself, it's never going to be like a massively packed lobby where you're running into fights every POI. But there is somebody at Holler. We just heard them, and these ticks have been destroyed. I just want to try and get up on the left here before pushing across. But the shots do sound like they're coming from inside. Don't see anything. A lot of audio inside. So I'm going to pop my invis probably around the back here.
Time to hunt.
And we're just going to walk up. So as I'm approaching, I know he's making noise. I know he's distracted. So this is the perfect time for me to get as close as I can. Now the noise has stopped. I'm going to cut my noise. Sounds like he's upstairs from the audio on my right. His movement and his healing kind of indicates that he doesn't know I'm here. So I'm just going to stalk and wait for a few seconds. He's inside a crate right now, so that's just telling me he probably doesn't know I'm here. So I know he's upstairs looting, so my thought process right now is that he's going to have to come down if he wants to exit either side. And since he feels safe and secure, he's probably going to come down the way he came up, which is this area here. There's a door on the right just been activated. He's in another container. This is very ratty, but this is how Haulers played. He has his knife out right now by the sounds of his footsteps. He's still in another container. We just wait here. If he leaves, we follow him. If he comes to us, we kill him. It is very ratty, but this is how I play sometimes. There's unopened containers in front of me, so if he's doing every container in here, he probably wants to do this one as well. There he is. He is going to be one shot right now. And we managed to find him. So yeah, obviously, on the approach to that situation, he was making a lot of noise and gunshots, and he healed in Holler here. There's dead bots, obviously, but I would be interested to check up for another body. But obviously, I heard him shooting, which means I have the approach. He's not going to hear my footsteps. He's not going to hear my invis, so I'm able to approach. Once I was walking up invis and the shooting stopped, that means he can hear my footsteps, so I stop as well, and then I just play for information, as you can see, using every bit of noise I can you know, detect to build up that picture of what's going on. He was looting, he was healing, he was neutral, he wasn't aggro, he had no awareness that I was there. So it's all about setting that trap and just kind of waiting for him to make the move first. And obviously it worked out. He went for the containers that we talked about. So that's going to be that fight there. That's, you know, the kind of situation you'll find yourself doing stuff like that is in interiors, in solos. You know, when you're in a building and every footstep is information, you want to just wait and be quiet. Yes, you can call it ratty. Yes, you can call it camping, but it's an extraction shooter. This isn't, you know, the CDL. If it does turn into a snooze fest, I'll just kind of clip together a few games with Assassin. You know, I do want to get my point across, but I don't want, you know, 80% of the video to be crossing mountains and rocks. Both exfils are still untouched. Somebody's in here. Okay, so with that one, I had completely no idea that he was in here. Like, there was no evidence outside. The bots were neutral. The only time I knew he was in here is when I hit this spot here and I heard him shuffle. There's not much I can really say about that fight. The only thing I would say is when you're entering buildings, make sure you have a good headset, but make sure it's turned up and make sure you're listening to every little noise. The only reason I was able to win that fight there was because he shuffled to the right and my headset was on and I was able to, you know, kind of look in this direction. Initially, I thought he was down there, but he peeked out from me. But the fact that I was looking in his general direction is why I was able to win that fight there, regardless of the shield or not. So just keep that in mind as you're moving through buildings. You're listening for every little noise. Even if you think you hear something and you're not like 100% sure, just assume it's a player. You're never going to go wrong that way. Doesn't look like there's anyone around here, boys, honestly. If it's completely dead, I'm going to take exfil and go myself, and we'll just jump into another and try again. Okay, boys, we're in game 2. We are going to try and find ourselves some more PvP encounters to get into and describe. Hopefully they are a little bit more interesting than the last one, but Perimeter Solos has been dead recently. We are on an American server as well. Hopefully that doesn't affect our winning chances. There is a spawn on my right here, so we're just going to be careful. Another thing about PvP in this game is you're always trying to have that advantage over the other person. A good player will never try and have a 1v1 fight with somebody. Obviously, it's going to happen, but there's somebody in here. We're going to do a push like we did before. But when you're in a 1v1 fight with somebody, you don't want to be shields versus shields or gun versus gun. You want to have high ground. You want to have the sneak attack. You want to have any advantage you can get your hands on. I'm going to pop my invis now and hope he doesn't hear it. We're just going to walk up. There's a lot of gunshots, just like last time. Gunshots still happening. I'm still moving. The door's open on the left. I think he's left hauler, and this one too. I think he might be under or something. It doesn't make sense for him just to run away like that. I think he went left towards data wall, which, you know, would kind of mean maybe he's going towards relay, I guess. Who knows? I'm going to go overflow and then wrap left towards where he would have went. That's going to be who can get their self off faster here. And he doesn't have one. That works out in our favor. Like I was just saying earlier about the 1v1 chow and the shields v shields, I was saying that you don't want that to happen. And the reason for it, you know, one of the reasons for it is you can both kill each other, which has happened to me many times. In that scenario, it's going to be whoever gets the stealth raise off first, and obviously he didn't have one. In that fight then, I was just running around, rotating. This guy was obviously rotating in this direction. He heard me first, so he posted up and waited. Then we had a 1v1 chow where it was just damage versus damage, and we both managed to kill each other. Not really much you can learn from that one, guys, other than sometimes you get lucky. Looks like he was doing a template. Made a pretty nice volley, we'll take that. But yeah, that one just came down to a bit of luck. Obviously, I did have the aim and the movement to trade, but you don't want to be in those scenarios. That's a prime example of what I was mentioning at the start. The reason you want to avoid those is because they go wrong so often. I might be a better player than him. He might be a better player than me. But once you put us under that, you know, 1v1 scenario, that trade versus trade, it's anyone's game. It's a coin flip. I probably could have been quieter, rotating around, but, you know, I hear people sometimes like that, and sometimes people are going to hear me. It's just part of the game. No audio, guys. Nobody's looking at my exfil as far as I can see so far. I mean, I think this is a reset. This is a dead lobby as well. All good, though. I did make a little point there about having advantage, but we're just going to dip.
Camo active. Systems damaged.
Okay, and we're in. We got a hauler spawn. I am just going to go straight overflow instead of crossing through hauler. See what we can see what we can find.
Collagen levels low, but
There is 2 spawns back here. Nobody seemed to spawn here, I don't think. Underneath me. Just gonna wait and see what he does. If somebody's in a building like this, you want to grab high ground anyway. You want to get their roof. It gives you the best opportunity to defend and to pick your moment to attack. Sounds like he's crossing to the other side. No, that's a bully. It's right here. I'm gonna pop invis and try and drop on him because he does sound like he's struggling with that big bot. So if he's struggling with an AI bot, he probably doesn't have a lot of heals. Just drop on him quickly. There he is. He's in the basement down there. I'm going to follow that bot in because he's going to cover my footsteps. He's just stabbed him. He's in that room right there. That's him dead. He must have got a knife off of me there or something. I took damage, but it didn't seem like it. I don't know. Okay, so with that fight then, I heard him inside by the time I was already on the roof. But what you want to do is if somebody's in here or on the second floor, you want to grab the roof anyway so you can hear where they are. You can pick your moment to attack. And if they do try and challenge you, you have the high ground. You know what, routes they're going to take to get on that roof to challenge you. So it's the best position to be in. Then when I heard that the shots were going on a little too long, that he was struggling with the AI, that means he's probably not going to, beat me in a fight. So I am good to just kind of follow the footsteps in. Stay nice and quiet, and I was able to get the kill. Shots over at North Relay. That sounds like a turret. Which means he's probably on the northern side, either rotating in or rotating out. But I'm going to stay in this outer area and just work my way up to the end. I'll probably run into him if I'm lucky. Please don't hit me. Yeah, so the turret spawned on this side, so that's where he probably is. Sounds like he's pushed into North Relay. I'm gonna hit this wall, pop my invis, and try and grab high ground.
Camo filter engaged.
Now, there's a chance he might have heard that. This is why I don't like Assassin. His invis is so loud.
Recall window.
Couple dead bots.
Stable for 20
Bunch of
minutes.
aggro ones. He's in here with me. I think he's on the roof. If he chases, he's dead. Please don't have a self. I didn't know you could shoot from that angle. That was huge by that guy. I don't think he has a self revive. I'm not gonna go near him then. I'll pop one of these panaceas that guy gave us last game. Okay, he's dead. Okay, there's not much to talk about this fight, but what I will mention is, obviously I came in and he was shooting from this angle. Now, in my defense, I didn't know you could shoot from here. I probably should with the amount of hours I have in this game. But that's me caught out. He probably should have won that. But what happened was I hit the cover and I was one shot, so I'm aware of what he's thinking. In his head, he goes, holy shit, I've nearly killed this guy. I need to push him and finish him. Every time people think that. So when he pushed me, I took the moment to rechal because it's the least expected thing that he's going to think I'm going to do. So that rechal is what allowed me to down him because he's not expecting it. He's probably not ready for it. And it gives me, you know, the last chance advantage there. So that's why I was able to kill him. But from the beginning of that fight, I shouldn't have been caught out like that. So not really much you can learn from that, boys. Just remember that if somebody gets you one shot, 9 times out of 10, they're going to be desperate to finish the job. And when they want to finish the job, they're going to push you as hard as they can. And that's your best time to strike. That's when you're going to get a shot off most of the time. Alright, boys, on to the next. GG's. Okay, boys, we're in. It looks like an EU server this time, which is good, because as you can notice, we have different weapons. I did manage to get killed last game. Had a fight with a guy, completely lagged all over the place. We killed each other, so we're using that volley we found in the previous match, or 2 matches ago, and a KKV is our secondary. Same applies though, we're going for PvP scenarios, we're going to go for fights. Weapons don't really matter, I can make most guns work, and anyone else can make most guns work. That's what I like about Marathon, you know, if you play the likes of Call of Duty, everybody you run into on Warzone is using the same 2 guns, but while there is a bit of a meta in Marathon, of course, you can definitely use any weapon and it's viable. I know Bully and Mizzy is a very popular one in Season 1 there, or Season 0. But, like, any weapon you pick up can knock somebody. I used a lot of weapons. I did like the gold volley towards the end of the season as well. Very, very strong gun. In fact, if I have one in my stash, I'm going to put it on. So we hear shots in North Relay. I'm going to immediately go for high ground here. It's a bit too quiet for my invis, so I'm just going to save it to break his aim assist. And he's up top. This guy might be half decent if he's just waiting for players on high ground. I'm going to sneak around here and try and approach. I don't like the noise this scope makes when you zoom in. Going to try not to sprint too much. And he's hit a tad, so I'm just going to peek him. And there's somebody underneath him as well. This is solos, right? He knifed him, so I know he's up top with him. Oh no, he must have fell down. So I know there's a guy underneath me, but he isn't the TAD user, so I can move around freely, but I'm going to remain on high ground and look for an angle to get some damage so I can push. I think he's in this corner here. The body's down low, so he probably didn't hit the ladder. I'm going to fake a smoke push here by pushing it left. See if he moves. I'm making some footsteps to get him nervous. He threw a smoke, but he didn't move. And I'm just playing off my audio right now. Checking around me quickly just to make sure no one's there.
Stealth engaged.
Okay, doesn't look like he's moving. I'm going to start dropping. I know he's tucked in on this left corner here, so I'm just peeking for him. Switching to the long range now. He's going to be in on the right there. I really thought that was going to kill him there. That's why I stopped shooting. Okay, let's heal up and then we'll talk about what happened. Yeah, we seem to be okay for now. Okay, what happened there was I heard shots on the outside, so I immediately went for high ground to start shelling the shots and get more information. Straight away, I noticed he was up top and he was aiming this way, so I knew he didn't know where I was just yet, so I'm going to make a play for his roof. I dropped down here and I slowly walked up. Then at this point, the TAD went off, so he knew my position. So immediately I have to start looking for a chow because he has way too much advantage over me. If he knows I'm coming, he's going to turn around. He's going to get ready. So I went up to chow. Of course, I got the shots off and got the knock. Then the guy that was already hunting him was down here. He shot me, popped a quick invis, and then I started to heal. That just allows me to reset the fight. It gives me the health, you know, to completely reset. And then I can start chowing this guy because I know this boy doesn't have a res. See, I would have heard it already. Then I noticed in the feed that the guy had knifed him, which means he's in close range of that guy's body. The body wasn't here, so it was down low, so I knew he was in this area. And then what we're doing is we're just playing the high ground for advantage. If I can get damage off, if I can get audio in, just whatever advantage I can get on this guy. I knew he was down here from the audio, and he wasn't moving, no matter what I tried. Then I dropped, he still wasn't moving, and then I, you know, wrapped around, and then he still wasn't moving. So I knew his exact location, which allowed me to just kind of swing around. I seen he had the knife out, so I was able just to hit fire and chill out. But that's pretty much what happened. Like, my mindset throughout that is, hello, okay, here we go. Now I am on the low ground. Not great. Just gonna hold this, he should peek me. Maybe he uses his drone. If he does, I'm going to run up. I'm going to wrap to the other side because he's right above me. Just pick the ladder. He's still waiting for me there. So I didn't fully cross the ladder. I just used it so my sight line could pass the, you know, the threshold so I could see where he was. Because if he was right there, I just, you know, drop off the ladder and rotate again. But because I could see his legs through this little gap, he was crouched and looking down, so I knew I could take this space. This was completely free. Even if he turned around and shelled, it's a one-on-one fight now, which is a lot better than what I originally had. Again, I'm just playing the audio. I'm on the low ground, so I have the disadvantage, so I have to know exactly where he is and what side I can play off. He was here, I crossed, I looked, and I was able to cross back over. Pretty simple. Like, if you're on low ground like this, do not panic. Just be aware of where he is. Think about what he's thinking. What kind of angles does he have? What information does he have? Don't think you're immediately dead, because this guy still has to kill you. So where is he? What angles does he have? I thought he might have peeked this. He didn't. And just keep listening for where he is. Just remember, because you're in a bad position, it doesn't mean the fight's over. The best tip I could give to somebody who plays Marathon is don't think about where the guy is and don't think about what you're doing too much. Think about what he thinks about, if that makes sense. I know that sounds a little crazy, but what's going on inside his head? Is he getting excited because you're weak? You know, is he getting kind of nervous because you're invisible? Is he camping a corner? What is he thinking? And just play off that info. But that's 3 guys down now. We're going to keep it pushing. I think we'll go to the overflow, see what we can see. Shots just in front of me towards Hauler. I'm going to pop an invis now because I made the bird scream. So he already knows what direction to look in. So I want to come up on him invisible. The shots might have been behind the wall. I think they were. Oh my god. Okay, well, that worked out. Looks like they weren't behind the wall, they were on my side. And he just, didn't see me, I guess. That's a prime example right there, guys. See, when you kill somebody like that, just wait. The loot is going absolutely nowhere. And one place it isn't going is your stash if you try and get it too early. Just wait a minute. Have a little grace period. Listen for audio, check around. Thought I heard something to my left, so I'm just going to chill.
15 minutes until signal.
Yep, not much I can show you there on the PvP side of things. The guy didn't see me, I saw him. The only thing you can learn from is his mistake. And not only did I walk in front of him, but I scared birds. So if he's fighting this guy and he hears birds, he should be expecting a second player. Obviously, I understand not everyone's wearing a headset. Some people are on TVs. I'll take this volley. I like it a lot. It can replace my bully that I lost. Okay, we'll head up to North Relay and maybe exfil from there, unless there are more people. This is definitely one of the more packed solo lobbies I've had in a while. Alright guys, when we're talking about Assassin, one of his most useful parts of his kit is the smoke on exfil. So when you pop an exfil like this, just quickly throw your ult at it and you'll be completely covered on your entry and inside the exfil itself. One of the main reasons I like Assassin as a solo, not that I would pick him, but that alone is a pretty good tool for getting out. GG though, boys.